Okay, so you're dreaming of opening a restaurant. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But let's be real for a sec. The restaurant scene in 2024, it's a jungle out there.
It really is.
Good thing you came prepared with this stack of resources.
Absolutely.
We're diving deep, turning you into a restaurant whiz one page at a time.
And it's not just about, whipping up a mean dish anymore. This isn't your grandma's diner. It's a whole new world. The restaurant industry has transformed even compared to just a few years ago.
Right. Like, remember when online ordering was a novelty?
Oh, yeah.
This guide's saying it's practically a requirement now, along with contactless payments and the whole digital shebang.
It's survival of the fittest, digitally speaking. But here's the thing. The pandemic, it didn't just push tech. It changed what customers expect, This whole trust but verify vibe.
Yeah.
People want transparency, from hygiene practices to where their food comes from.
So it's like they're saying, sure, I'll try your artisanal kimchi burger, but show me you wash your hands and your veggies are locally sourced.
Exactly. And that's where a killer concept comes in. This guide hammers home the importance of your unique selling proposition, or USP. Why should someone pick your restaurant over the dozens of others?
It's like you need that secret sauce, literally and figuratively, to stand out in this crowded market.
Exactly. And that's why nailing down your concept is so critical. It's the foundation for everything else. Imagine building a house on sand. That's what it's like trying to build a restaurant without a strong concept.
Okay, let's dig into this concept thing. The guide mentions psychographics, which, I don't know, sounds a bit like fortune telling, but it's actually about knowing your ideal customer, right?
It's like fortune telling for foodies. Demographics tell you the who, age, location, all that. Psychographics tell you the why, their values, lifestyle, even their Instagram feed. Are they like health conscious, snapping pics of their acai bowls, or are they all about comfort food and family style dining?
So you don't want to open a vegan cafe next to a CrossFit gym and expect to rake in the dough.
Right, exactly.
You need to understand your audience and cater to their desires.
Precisely. And speaking of location, this guide stresses it's not just about finding a spot with foot traffic, it's about understanding the neighborhood's vibe, its residents. Are they young professionals looking for trendy after-work spots or families seeking, casual dining experiences?
So more than just being on the right street corner, it's about fitting into the neighborhood's ecosystem.
Exactly. Consider parking, public transport, even the competition. This guide wants you to be strategic, not just lucky. It even goes into the restaurant's layout.
Wait, really? The layout matters that much?
Absolutely. It's like designing a stage for an amazing performance. A smooth flow between the kitchen, dining area, even the restrooms, it all adds to the customer experience. Plus, you've got legal stuff like accessibility standards to keep in mind. You don't want to get caught in a legal bind just because your layout isn't up to code.
It's like a giant game of Tetris, making sure all the pieces fit together seamlessly. And let's not forget the people putting on the show, the staff.
The heart and soul of any restaurant. This guide emphasizes building a strong team and creating a positive work environment. It even calls it an employee's market out there.
Makes sense. Everyone's heard those restaurant horror stories, kitchens on fire, both literally and figuratively.
Exactly. This guide encourages competitive pay, training, and fostering teamwork. Remember, happy staff often translates to happy customers.
And happy customers mean more business. But all this happy talk aside, the guide also dives into the financial side of things, right?
Absolutely. This is where dreams meet reality. The guide talks about crafting a realistic business plan, securing adequate funding, and not just for getting the doors open.
You mean like that financial cushion? Making sure you can cover costs even if those first few months are slower than expected.
Exactly. They call it working capital, the cash flow you need to keep the lights on and the ovens hot until your profits start rolling in. It's like having an emergency fund, but for your restaurant.
Okay, so you've got your concept, location, rockstar team, and finances in check. What's next on the menu for this deep dive?
Time to plate up the main course, the day-to-day operations. This is where those meticulously crafted plans, meet the heat of the kitchen. And trust me, things can get spicy.
So it's not enough to be a culinary genius, you need to be an organizational wizard too.
Think of it like this. You could be serving Michelin star-worthy dishes, but if your order system's stuck in the dark ages, your customers, they won't be coming back for seconds. This guide stresses the importance of efficient systems, and one thing they emphasize is a top-notch point of sale or POS system.
That's the fancy cash register, right? With like extra bells and whistles?
Yeah, it's like the mothership of your restaurant. Imagine this. It processes payments, it tracks sales data, it even helps manage your staff's hours. A far cry from the clunky cash registers of yore.
Okay, that's impressive. It's like having a digital maestro conducting the entire restaurant orchestra. What else does this guide highlight?
Inventory management. You know, that delicate dance between having enough ingredients to satisfy a hungry horde and not having to, like, turn your walk-in freezer into a science experiment gone wrong?
Because nobody wants to tell a customer, sorry, we're out of love tonight. Our apologies. We've run out of the key ingredient for your favorite dish.
Exactly. Food costs can make or break a restaurant, so this guide encourages finding a system that works for you. Whether it's high-tech software or, a good old-fashioned spreadsheet, the key is staying on top of it.
Yep. Right, because running a restaurant is all about the bottom line. Speaking of which, how do you ensure consistently amazing customer service? That's going to be a big factor in those positive online reviews everyone's glued to.
You've hit the nail on the head. The guide stresses staff training is paramount. It's about clear expectations, consistent feedback, and empowering your team to handle any situation that, comes their way.
Because, let's be honest, even with the best food in the world, a bad experience with a grumpy server can really sour the whole evening.
Exactly. It's about creating an atmosphere where your staff feels valued and equipped to provide, top-notch service. This guide wants those customers raving about both the food and the experience. Now, let's talk quality control. How do you make sure every dish that leaves your kitchen is a masterpiece?
The million-dollar question. Especially when you have a whole team involved in the process. It's like a culinary relay race.
This guide breaks it down. Clear recipes, standardized procedures, and don't underestimate the power of regular taste tests. It's about making sure everyone's on the same page, from the sous chef to the line cooks.
Because consistency is key, right? Nobody wants to become known for having a dish that's a hit-or-miss gamble.
Precisely. This guide encourages fostering open communication in the kitchen, empowering everyone to speak up if something's not right. Now, let's turn our attention to the often overlooked aspect of running a restaurant, the financials.
Ah, yes, the numbers game.
Yeah.
Because passion doesn't pay the bills, unfortunately.
And that's where this guide gets real. It stresses having a realistic budget and sticking to it like your grandma's secret recipe. And it's not just about tracking income versus expenses.
It's about understanding those, less obvious costs, labor, ingredients, the electricity bill for keeping those ovens fired up. It all adds up.
You got it. It's about analyzing those sales figures, tweaking your pricing strategy, and staying on top of expenses like a hawk. This guide wants you to be financially savvy, not just a culinary wizard.
So you need to be a chef, an accountant, a people person. Running a restaurant requires wearing a lot of hats.
Absolutely. But don't let that intimidate you. This guide reassures us that there are tools and resources available, even if numbers aren't your forte. It's about being resourceful and seeking guidance when needed. Now, let's say you've got your restaurant humming along, profits are rolling in, you're feeling like a rock star restaurateur. What's next?
Time to open another location and take over the world, one delicious dish at a time. Whoa! Hold your horses.
Yeah.
This guide's saying, don't get ahead of yourself. Expansion's a whole other ballgame.
Oh, absolutely. It's like, leveling up in the restaurant world. It's about building an empire, not just conquering a street corner.
Right.
This guide stresses making sure your current operation is running like a well-oiled machine before you even think about replicating it.
So, don't get ahead of yourself and start scouting real estate for location number 2 until location number 1 is firing on all cylinders.
Precisely. This guide says, look before you leap. Once you've got that solid foundation, then it's all about finding the right growth strategy.
Okay, so what are we talking about here? Is it just about opening new locations, or are there, other paths to restaurant domination?
This guide opens up a world of possibilities. Of course, there's the classic open another location route. But it also talks about things like catering, partnering with, delivery services, even creating your own line of branded products.
Okay, that's interesting. It's like taking your restaurant on the road.
Yeah.
Or even bringing it into people's homes.
Exactly. It's about diversifying, finding new ways to share your culinary creations with the world. Think meal kits featuring your signature sauces, or maybe even a line of gourmet condiments sold in stores.
This is making me hungry, and we're not even cooking. But this guide isn't all sunshine and rainbows, is it? It talks about the challenges of the restaurant industry, too.
You bet. This industry is not for the faint of heart. This guide reminds us that resilience and adaptability are key ingredients for long-term success.
Yeah. Because let's be real, not every restaurant is an overnight sensation. There are going to be bumps in the road, unexpected hurdles.
Exactly, and this guide even talks about the importance of having a plan B, just in case things don't go exactly as planned.
So you need to be prepared for the unexpected, always have a backup recipe on hand, so to speak.
Precisely. This guide emphasizes the importance of staying flexible. Be ready to adapt your menu, pricing, or even your marketing strategy based on, customer feedback and market trends.
It's like that saying, the only constant is change. You've got to be able to roll with the punches in the restaurant world.
Exactly. But it's not just about reacting to external factors. This guide also stresses the importance of always striving for improvement, even when things are going well.
So even if your restaurant is fully booked every night, there's always room to make things better, smoother, even more delicious.
Absolutely. Whether it's tweaking your recipes, streamlining your workflow, or finding new ways to, wow your customers, there's always another level to reach in this business.
This deep dive has been quite a culinary journey. We've covered everything from crafting a concept to navigating the financial side of things, all the way to expanding your restaurant empire.
It really has. It's been a pleasure exploring these resources with you.
Before we let you go, what's the one piece of advice you'd give to someone who's, serious about opening a restaurant based on everything we've unpacked today?
Don't be afraid to roll up your sleeves and get your hands dirty. And I'm not just talking about prepping ingredients. Talk to other restaurant owners. Immerse yourself in the industry.
Yeah.
Really understand your target audience. The more you put in before you open those doors, the greater your chances of success.
That's fantastic advice. So there you have it, folks. If you're hungry for more, be sure to check out our show notes for links to all the resources we discussed. Until next time, happy listening.